Aging population, Japan and some European countries are already raising the age at which national pensions are paid out to 65 and beyond. Singapore may follow suit with its CPF system.
I think it is quite reasonable to raise it to 65 if objective is to raise the employment rate of this group of people. But I think we should do so cautiously, and so we should make employment happen. Right? We should not leave people in a situation where they can't get a job, and yet the minimum sum drawdown age is raised.
The government is already getting employers and employees to negotiate terms of re-employment once the worker hits the retirement age at 62. Extending this retirement age is not a law yet, as the government first wants to explore what types of issues crop up and how they can be resolved. In Japan, the re-employment law states that the employer is obliged to offer a job to someone who's reached the age of 60 till he is 65.
During his study trip, Mr. Lim also visited daycare centers and nursing homes in Japan. Many of the elderly in these centers are subsidized by a long-term care insurance implemented by the state 7 years ago. But since it has kicked in, financial outlay has grew from 45 billion Sing dollars to 87 billion dollars last year. So it's becoming clear to the Japanese that this is unsustainable. Mr. Lim says this example shows that the responsibility of caring for the old should not rest on the state.
And to help families, Singapore could take a leaf from Japan's example, where there are courses for caregivers who also have a support network. Mr. Lim is also against giving state funding to these caregivers.
We will cheapen the care that the family members give to their old if we equate that with payment.
As for singles, Mr. Lim says there are provisions made for them, such as the building of studio apartments. But as far as possible, he wants to encourage even the singles to live in their own homes and, better still, with the family.
So what are the implications of the proposal and the pros and cons? Our reporter has this story.
As an electrician, Kumar makes about $1,400 every month. He recently turned 56, so Kumar was allowed to start withdrawing about $1,000 annually from his CPF savings. CPF allows members to do so when they turn 55. And from the age of 62, they'll begin to receive their CPF minimum sum to help meet basic retirement needs. But if the government decides to increase the minimum sum withdrawal from the age of 62 to 65, Kumar says his life would surely be affected.
The idea put it until 65, there must be a job until 65. If I don't have any job, how are you going to pay for the other part if I retire at the age of 62? So I need some money for me to pay the HDB mortgage and other uses and other personal uses for my family. And then at the same time, the employer also must give me a job at that age. And the 3 years from 62 to 65, I don't have any fund there to pay for these personal uses. So who's going to cover for me at that age?
For low-wage workers like Kumar over here, every dollar counts. For example, when he's at the age of 62, Kumar says he can expect a monthly payment of some $300 from his CPF minimum sum. And he can use that money to pay for items like utility bills and food. So ensuring older employees are rehired in the workplace first before tweaking the CPF system is crucial, says one unionist.
So if we were to move it to 65, which is quite common in the European countries, then of course we want first the employers to change their mindset that there is this obligation to keep the workers going. Employees will have to rework their lifestyle and see how they could actually fit into this and ensure that they continue to be employed beyond 62.
Familiar with the plight of seniors, Tai Hwa Kwan Moral Society says the suggestion is worth considering.
It's not a bad idea to keep it there, earn some interest, protecting your nest egg, and the whole lot of it. So when you need the money at maybe 65 or whatever age it might be, the day that you can draw your money, then you have plenty of money by then.
Ultimately, if and when the government decides, many feel it's critical to fully explain the benefits and rationale for the change.